So welcome to Stretching Your Strengths in CEHS. I'm Paul Springer, the Associate Dean in the college. Today we're going to be talking to Eric Einspahr. He's an academic advisor in the College of Education and Human Sciences. And today we're going to be talking about one, the role of an academic advisor, and two, things that students don't think to ask, especially when they're struggling. So Eric, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to help.
So Eric, can you talk to us a little bit more about what an academic advisor does?
Yeah, well, a lot of students think of us as the person you go to get your classes for next semester, which is absolutely one of the big parts of our job. But sometimes people don't always realize part of our job is to help students find that right balance between their academic as well as their resume building things like internships and student involvement on campus, like with student organizations, as well as the fun parts of college as well. There's really something to be said about finding what works for each individual student. There's no cookie cutter pattern, and I'm really here to help kind of students talk through everything that's going on in their lives and finding out what's the best fit for them.
It sounds like an awesome resource for students that you're used to talking a little bit more than just about classes. So can you talk about what are things students may not think to ask? For example, what if a student needs to take an incomplete or drop a class? So what's the difference between those?
Yeah, well, first thing that I would kind of like to say is that your academic advisor has kind of seen and heard it all, right? Sometimes when it comes specifically to the conversation about dropping a class or passing a class, sometimes students feel a little bit of like shame or like they're going to let their advisor down. And I really want to just stress that we've seen and heard it all. There's nothing you can do that's going to upset us as your advisor. So when it comes to dropping those things or when it comes to looking at those options, something that's really important is that there's a difference. An incomplete is permission to have extra time after the end of the semester to finish a class. A withdraw is a good option to save your GPA if we don't think you're going to be able to pass. Pass no pass is a good option when we might be able to still use the course for an elective, but there's some rules with that with your major classes. So long story short is that every situation is different and every situation might have a different answer, even for different students in the same major. We're happy to help you look through those options and figure out which one's the best for you.
Yeah, that's great that you're a resource for the students to help them think through all of these issues. Can you talk about long-range graduation planning so students are aware of this?
Yeah, another thing that we do, especially as we get students kind of towards the end of freshman year and beyond, is to start to look long range at what it takes to actually graduate. A lot of our majors in the College of Education and Human Sciences are pretty structured. We got to have certain sequences that are taken in order. Part of our goal is to not only figure out what classes do you need to take and when, but also kind of going back to that balance to figure out which classes are really going to be best for you in what semesters. Long range planning can look different for a lot of different students. If I'm pre-med and I'm trying to work in, say, the anatomy class this semester, we usually try to be conscious of the classes we schedule against it. Or if I'm an education major, we might also be looking at what are some of the things we can do to get experiences working with kids or working in the schools or things like that as well. All of that can affect your classes as well as when you graduate. Another good topic right now is summer classes. We'd love to help you with summer classes, and that can accelerate graduation as well and have a big impact on that. Again, all of those little things, kind of what we do now affects what we do later. And so we're happy to just look at those situations and figure out what works best.
Well, thanks, Eric. If you haven't set up an appointment with your advisor, I hope you do so. They're a great resource in the college. And thanks so much, Eric. We really appreciate your time.
Absolutely. I love what I do, and I'm excited to see the students come in for registration.
Awesome. Thank you.